Alrighty folks, what's going on? So I'm here with another video, and today I want to show you guys what you can get for $100 when you go and buy a Walmart Hi-vis work jacket. Now, I am absolutely going to say one thing, and that is I'm very surprised at how this jacket has turned out. So if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, watch the video where I give my ratings. So first things first, we're going to go with the cons. Now, there isn't very much that I don't like about this jacket, very surprisingly. So let's get into it. Now, if you guys are like me and you guys are fairly hesitant to buy work clothing, in this case high-vis work clothing for obviously work from Walmart, give this video a look. Definitely check this out because it's something that's worth your while. Now, I got this at Valley Village for 15 bucks. I'm going to point that out, but I am going based off of what the suggested retail price was of 100. But I think it was like 98 bucks plus tax at Walmart. It might have been on sale. I doubt it, but might have. And yeah, so also keep in mind, because I got this used, it didn't actually come with the hood, unfortunately. But it was, if used at all, very lightly used, as there was no dirt. So over the course of the last 3 to 4 weeks that I've had this jacket, yeah, it's gotten dirty. So let's get into it. So the number one thing that is not really a con, it kind of can be if you really look at it and don't like this, has to be the cuff on the sleeves. This has a Velcro adjusting cuff. Now the reason I don't like this is because I've noticed in the past, even the highest of quality work jackets, and I've spent, $150, close to $200 on a work jacket before, that has lasted years and just, it either got torn up or for whatever reason it had to be replaced. There's things out there that, you should spend your money on. I definitely think in this time and day, this day and age, work jackets may not always be one of those things, which is really, really, really surprising for me to say that. Now, the reason I'm not crazy about this Velcro adjusting cuff is because if, let's say, you want to adjust it, it kind of leaves a bit of like a loop with the excess fabric on the inside. Now, if you really wanted to, you could possibly, do this, and it looks kind of weird, but obviously it's not the way it's intended for. And it's not necessarily uncomfortable at first, but if you're wearing this with, let's say, a watch, I don't know that many people that wear watches to work, but just saying if, it is definitely, that's something that might become a little bit annoying. And that's how my video stopped recording, sorry guys. And that being said, that's something I want to mention. I would have liked to see an elastic cuff, or no adjustable cuff at all, to be completely honest. But something that fits a little bit more smaller, as this is a pretty, it's a wide cuff, to say the least. So again, it does taper a little bit towards the wrist in terms of the sleeve, but not as much as I would like. So this is why I always tend to just adjust it about at least halfway, so that way I can, easily access, my watch if I gotta pull my sleeve up and look at my watch or whatever. If I wear a watch to work, which I don't do very frequently, but sometimes I do. I'm a weird one, I know. So that being said, the second kind of con, which is a little bit more, I guess, worth mentioning, if you will, is the thermal reflective striping. Now, I personally am not a huge fan of when companies do this, but it is very common even amongst the higher end quality high-vis jackets, parkas, vests even, and shirts. Typically with shirts, this is where you tend to find it, is shirts are a lot more flexible and tend to be a lot more forgiving and stretchy than jackets and parkas. So that being said, for shirts I kind of excuse it, but for jackets not so much. And that is, despite this does have 3M reflective, so that's, 3M reflective material. Yeah, that's it. It is stitched and adhesed or glued to the actual fabric, which is not a really bad thing, but in turn you gotta consider if you're gonna be putting this through a lot in terms of physical stress, you're gonna be against rough environments or whatever. If your job is physically demanding and you're gonna be moving a lot, I would definitely consider getting a jacket that possibly has a different method of, attaching the 3M or reflective stitching in general, if it's not in 3M. And again, I'm saying this because even though this is adhesed or glued, it does have stitching to reinforce it. I can definitely see over time that if that does get snagged or whatever and it tears, that's just going to come apart really, really easily at that part. At that point. And that being said, I do kind of look at this as a bit of a weak point. Although the stitching on every other part of the jacket, I do actually look, and I'm talking about every other part, I mean seams that are non-reflective. So anywhere other than where the reflective stitching is, or not stitching, the reflective stripes are. So parts like over here, I can't see this, you know, really tearing. So you guys heard that bit of a noise, I'm not sure what that was. But nothing tore, which is, not sure what that was, but yeah, nothing tore. So again, it is something that is going to hold up, hopefully, fairly well. Now getting into the pros of the jacket, the thing that I love the most about this has to be, it is fairly lightweight, it's breathable, but it does come with fleece. This is something that I'm actually going to put as both a pro and a con, because fleece does keep you warm until it gets wet. And this is something that I mentioned with the Studwell from Timberland Pro. I've mentioned in that video how in the past with fleece products, I'm not a huge fan. Excuse me. So that being said, it is there as an insulating layer, and I completely understand that. This is really not intended to be worn just on top of a t-shirt. Jackets are really, for the most part, not intended to be worn like that. At least not in this case. This is not a really lightweight jacket. At that part, at that point, it would probably just be considered a shell if it was. And it wouldn't be meant to be worn like that at all anyway. So if, let's say, you guys are going to wear this standalone, because again, you guys got to remember, it did come with a hood initially, being a snap-on hood. It is something that, if you start to sweat, let's say it's a little bit cooler, but you're working, you're sweating, that fleece doesn't really breathe well. Despite its polyester on the outside, it is not going to breathe that well. And another reason why I'm bringing this up is because if, let's say, you guys are like me, I layer fairly well. I don't really use a lot of layers. So the most would be maybe 4. So my layering system consists of a thermal top. T-shirt is optional depending on what my mid layer is going to be, which would typically be slip-on hoodie, and then this is my outer layer. Now that being said, this is polyester, so it's going to be water resistant to a degree. And again, tying back into what I was just going to bring up, if it does get wet, you will feel the fleece get damp, and then essentially it's not something that'll do you very good if you're going to wear this alone over, let's say, like a long sleeve shirt. So again, keep in mind, wear the right layers. This is why I say layering is absolutely essential to learn. Now, I'm going to be doing a separate video on that because it's something you guys requested last year for me to kind of do an update on my work gear video, and I kind of figured instead of doing it just like that, I will show you guys what I wear to work, but as well discuss how I layer. So keep an eye out for that video. Now, when it comes to the other thing that I like about this jacket, it has to just be the overall functionality. Having zippered pockets on the outside is really nice, but the one thing this does have that I have never seen before, and again, it's not like I have a huge amount of exposure with work jackets, so don't, bash me for it, if this is something that's fairly common in lightweight jackets, is an interior pocket, something I'm going to call a hidden pocket even, because this here is just an extra bit of fabric that was stitched on. Keep in mind, the only thing separating the exterior pocket from this is the part that makes the exterior pocket a pocket is the stitching, which that's what this is. That strip of fabric there, that is where the stitching is. So again, keep in mind, it is something that you may want to consider. I actually do use this. I put my wallet in there. If, let's just say, I'm wearing this open. If I'm not wearing this unzipped, I will put, my wallet on the exterior pocket just so it's easy to access. And the reason I mention that is because if, let's say, I have this unzipped and I'm working, and let's say I want to go grab a coffee, I don't go to unzip the pocket, or even if I don't zip it, I'd just rather have it on the inside where I know for sure I'm not going to lose it because it's a much deeper pocket. It's a square shaped pocket as opposed to this, which has a bit of a shallow opening. It doesn't, you probably won't lose much, but again, just for the sake of having that interior pocket there, I do use it. The overall just quality of the materials. I do want to say, being from Walmart, I'm going to mention that a dozen times because it's from Walmart. The quality of the materials is actually really, really nice. I do got to say, this definitely feels like it's a more premium, higher quality garment rather than just being from Walmart, which typically most people, you know, at least myself, you know, do tend to lower their standards when it comes to the Walmart clothing. So that being said, maybe I'm just being a bit of a douche, when I hope I'm not, but I typically stay away from Walmart clothing because I tend to find that they just don't have quality clothing at all. You know, the odd time, like, you know, in this case, you find something that's pretty good quality. Now, to kind of give this overall just function over whatever, I would have to probably say this is well worth the $100 that you're going to be spending. But if, let's say, you want something that's going to be more versatile across the seasons, this is not something that, let's say you don't like layering, like you don't want to wear something underneath this, I'll definitely invest in a parka. If you guys want me to get the Walmart parka, I will. I'm kind of hesitant to do that because I already have this, and I'm perfectly fine with the layering system that I use. But if I get enough of you guys asking for it, I will definitely do so. Now we're getting into our rating system. So out of 10, you know, construction and durability of this jacket, I would have to give this about an 8. And again, the only thing stopping it from being a 10 is I just don't know how well this 3M is going to hold up. Being it's 3M, I'm holding it up to fairly high standards, but again, seeing as how it's already started to wrinkle, and I've had some other vests even that just don't do that. Keep in mind, it's a vest. It's a lot more of a thinner material, a lot more flexible, so if anything was going to wrinkle, that vest would, and the reflective stripes on that didn't. So that being said, you know, keep in mind I never actually like zipped up the vest, but nonetheless, you know, I wore it. So that being said, if you guys are looking to get a jacket for work, like a Hi-vis jacket specifically, consider Walmart. Now, out of 10, the value of this product, I would actually have to give that a 9 out of 10. Maybe even a 10. I really, to be honest with you guys, it varies from person to person. But being this is a high-vis Walmart jacket, I'm still on the fence a little bit as to how well this will hold up over the course of at least a year. But yeah, that's going to be it. If you guys have any questions, down below is where you leave them. And until next time, I'll live from the 6. I'm out.